Imagine opening a map and seeing one empire stretching from the Pacific Ocean all the way to Eastern Europe. Different languages, different cultures, different religions, millions of people, all connected under one empire. That wasn't Rome, it wasn't Britain, it was the Mongol Empire, the largest contiguous land empire in human history. The strange part is that it all began with a boy who lost his father, was abandoned by his tribe, and grew up fighting just to survive. By the end of this video, you'll understand how the Mongols conquered much of Eurasia, why their army was so effective, how they transformed global trade, and why their legacy is still debated today. Throughout this video, we'll follow one running example, a silk merchant traveling from China to Europe. Because before the Mongols, that journey was dangerous. After their rise, everything changed. The future ruler of the Mongol Empire was born as Temujin in the 12th century on the Mongolian steppe. Life there was harsh. Families moved with their animals across open grasslands, surviving freezing winters and dry summers. When Temujin was still a child, his father died, and his family was abandoned by their tribe. They survived by hunting, fishing, and gathering food. Those difficult years taught Temujin one important lesson. If he wanted to survive, he needed loyal allies. As he grew older, he united many rival tribes. Instead of rewarding only relatives, he often promoted people who proved their skill and loyalty. In 1206, after bringing many Mongol tribes together, Temujin received a new title, Genghis Khan. A new empire had begun. People often think the Mongols won because they had horses. They did, but so did many other armies. The real difference was how they used them. Mongol warriors often traveled with several horses, allowing them to switch mounts during long journeys and move incredible distances. From childhood, they trained on horseback. They were also expert archers, able to fire accurately while riding at high speed. One of their most famous tactics was pretending to retreat. Enemies would chase them, believing they were winning. Then the Mongols would suddenly turn around and attack with a rain of arrows. Their army was also highly organized. Soldiers were grouped into units of 10, 100, 1,000, and 10,000. This made communication simple and allowed commanders to react quickly during battle. The Mongols weren't always the largest army, but they were often the fastest, most disciplined, and best organized. After uniting the Mongol tribes, Genghis Khan began expanding beyond Mongolia. His armies defeated powerful kingdoms across northern China, Central Asia, and Persia. They didn't just rely on cavalry. When they encountered massive cities protected by walls, they adapted. They recruited engineers and learned siege warfare, using advanced machines to capture fortified cities. The Mongols were practical. If another civilization had better technology, they adopted it. That ability to learn made every victory stronger than the last. Within decades, the empire stretched farther than anyone had imagined possible. Now let's return to our merchant. Before the Mongols, traveling across Asia meant crossing many kingdoms, each with different rulers, taxes, and dangers. After the Mongols controlled much of Eurasia, large sections of the Silk Road came under one empire. Historians call this period the Pax Mongolica. It doesn't mean there were no wars. It means that across much of the empire, trade became more stable and predictable. Merchants could move silk, spices, porcelain, jewelry, paper, and precious metals across thousands of kilometers more easily than before. The Mongols became wealthy by protecting these routes and collecting taxes on trade. They understood something modern countries still understand. Safe trade creates wealth. The Silk Road carried much more than products. Ideas traveled too. Religions spread, new technologies crossed continents. Scientific knowledge moved between civilizations. Travelers shared inventions, farming techniques, art, and culture. One famous traveler was Marco Polo, who journeyed to Asia during the period of Mongol rule, although historians continue to debate some parts of his account. The Mongols didn't invent globalization, but they helped connect civilizations on a scale rarely seen before. The Mongol Empire was built through war. Many cities resisted. Some were captured after long and devastating sieges. Countless lives were lost. Historical sources disagree on exact numbers, but there is no doubt that the destruction was enormous. The same trade routes that carried goods also helped diseases travel. In the 14th century, the Black Death spread across Eurasia through existing trade networks. The Mongols did not create the plague, but the increased movement of people and goods made it easier for diseases to spread over long distances. The empire connected the world. Unfortunately, that connection had both benefits and costs. No empire lasts forever. After Genghis Khan died, his successors continued expanding the empire. Eventually, however, it became too large to govern as one state. It was divided into several major khanates, ruled by different branches of the royal family. Over time, these regions became increasingly independent. Political rivalries grew, new kingdoms rose. Gradually, the unified Mongol Empire disappeared. Its influence, however,
did not. The Mongols changed world history. They built the largest contiguous land empire ever. They transformed trade across Eurasia. They connected East and West more closely than ever before. Ideas, technologies, and cultures spread along the routes they protected. At the same time, their conquests brought immense destruction. That is why historians remember the Mongol Empire as both one of history's greatest military achievements and one of its most devastating. Temujin united the Mongol tribes and became Genghis Khan. The Mongols built a fast, disciplined, and highly organized army. They conquered territory across Asia and Europe. They connected much of the Silk Road under one empire. Trade, ideas, and technology spread more easily. Their wars also caused enormous destruction. After Genghis Khan's death, the empire gradually split apart, but its impact on global trade, culture, and history remains impossible to ignore. The next time something arrives at your door after traveling halfway around the world, remember this: global trade didn't begin with cargo ships or airplanes. Centuries ago, caravans crossed deserts, horsemen raced across the steppes, and one empire helped connect much of the known world. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and comment which empire or civilization you'd like to see explained next.